Oh yeah, definitely. How about some of the property coverages? How about how do contractors cover like their tools or equipment? Materials on the job. Those types of things. They can have a lot of money tied up in all those things, right?
Oh,
And
correct.
sometimes they get vandalized or they get stolen or whatever.
Yep, for sure. So some of like on the bigger stuff you would want to have it scheduled on your policy, like your excavators, your bobcats, skid steers, bigger equipment, like around $5,000 to $10,000 and up. And then the smaller equipment, you just have like a blanket policy for like simple stuff like shovels. With the landscapers, you got weed whackers,
Okay.
blowers, things like that would be under a blanket policy. So
Yeah,
that's
because you could have those things, coming and going all the time. So you probably don't
correct.
want to say every time you buy a new weed whacker or, blower or whatever that you want to, schedule out the insurance on that. You just want a blanket limit is what you're saying and that kind of thing.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. So
And
that's how we
how
go about
about
that.
covering like materials, maybe drywall, wood, lumber, all that kind of thing. How does that work for a contractor?
So typically, you got to make sure that's going to be included in your policy. You be able to cover like materials. And most policies, if you're working the right, right agent, sorry, the right agent, be able to make sure you have that typical coverage in there. A lot of the policies, like carpentry or general contractor policies, a lot of that coverage is already included in the policies as well.
Okay.
So that's
So a lot of times how it's packaged up, you'll have some coverages for those types
right,
of things. And
right.
again, I would imagine you know, if you have anything out of the ordinary, a job that's out of the ordinary, they need to talk to you about that to see, hey, is the policy going to cover that or what's really happening, right?
Right, for sure. If you're having like you know, different circumstances where the materials are, out of the norm, and you're gonna have a, high value, materials on the job, maybe some steel or, you know, other things like precious. Who knows? Some people have some
Maybe some
crazy.
high value equipment if you're,
Yeah,
a specialty HVAC contractor, something like that, where there's really like a large generator or, whatever that might be. That's really
right.
high ticket item.
Yeah, we
So,
might have to add that onto the policy. But in general, if you're working with the right carriers, they include a lot of this coverage for you. That's why it's important to make sure the carriers you guys are working with and the agent that you're working with, kind of specializes in, the contractors themselves, and that's their appetite. So they're able to include a lot of these coverages for you already in the policy.
right. And which is going to be in the long run less expensive, less headaches because it's covered. So you have a little bit more peace of mind knowing that it's just included in the policy, right? So,
Correct.